are only equal on the scoreboard. Plenty of tackles for the Australians, almost 150. And the missed tackles and the handling errors in these conditions, with it being a test match, I'm not that disappointed. They have put some balls down, but they've been under pressure, and I've got to say that both sides have scrambled particularly well in defence.
Just on that defence, Gordon Tallis has been terrific for Australia in that area. 18 tackles and 7 hit-ups, working very hard. One stat that's not on there is Laurie Daly's come up with 12 tackles out wide. Good effort by Laurie Daly. And for the Kiwi side, they've battled hard, haven't they? Jared McCracken leads the way there with 13 and 6 hit-ups. Henry Paul, what a game he's having. 13 tackles, 10 hit-ups. He's just about being their best player.
So Henry Paul about to start the second half, and they go for a high start, a shallow restart. The bounce comes down, favours them. It came off the legs of the New Zealander, back to another, but the referee has ordered that the ball has been knocked on as Australia comes up with it, and New Zealand will get the loose head and feed. So what a tremendous start for them.
It's proved to be a pretty good tactic, the high short restart. That time Laurie Daly couldn't get possession, knocked on, and Stacey Jones again from the scrum base causes problems.
Fittler this time wraps him up. Opening minute of the second half, 6 points all. It was early in the match that New Zealand got their converted try, and they're trying to repeat it now as Henry Paul goes across, throws a couple of dummies before McCracken is felled around the legs by Fittler. Now they come back for Joe Vangana. He's back towards centre park, and it's Jason Smith who pulls him down together with Andrew Johns. Australia holding their line, getting it together now as Henry Paul goes to the right. A penalty to Australia. He's penalised for not raking the ball back with your foot. Well, what a stupid penalty to give. It is Joe Vangana. He doesn't strike it with the foot, and he gives a penalty to Australia. Steve Roach is back from the sheds. What did you find out, big fella?
Yeah, well, the Australian coach, Chris Anderson, praised the defence of the Australians, especially in that first 20 minutes. He said, stay calm, don't panic. It'll come when we get some quality football down their end. He thought the Kiwis were starting to tire. He wants more urgency to get back and help when the New Zealand put up the high ball. Let's get bodies there. For New Zealand coach Frank Endicott, he was pretty happy. He said, keep doing the same things. Mix our game up. We're causing the Aussie defence all sorts of problems around that dummy half. He said, don't force the ball. We can't afford to give the Aussies easy footy. He said, keep peppering Lockyer. He doesn't look confident under the high ball.
Talking of loose ball, there's some there now to be cleaned up by Glenn Lazarus. Playing it back for Darren Smith to take a dummy half run. He's had a fairly quiet game. It hasn't been his fault. The ball just hasn't travelled to the right. When they have had the football, it's more or less been coming to the left of the ground for Daly. Tallis did well. Lockyer throws one across the field for Fittler to go back to Langer, and Langer is down, tackled 30 metres out from the Kiwi line. Daly was the acting half to the boot of Fittler. It's a big kick down the ground. The bounce is important. A charging Darren Smith has got a hand on it. Darren Smith has appealed for a try, and Cummings gives the try. No reference to the video referee. So Australia picks up the first points in the second half. A kick across the ground, and Darren Smith has scored to take it to 10-6.
Oh, and how simple, but it was set up by a barnstorming effort again from Gordon Tallis. He's been Australia's best by a mile. Alan Langer was tackled on the last. The ball came to Brad Fittler. The only doubt on the try could have been Darren Smith, whether he was in front of the kicker, but that's fine. And this is really woeful from the Kiwis here. No urgency shown whatsoever, especially by Willie Talau. He's the number 3 that Darren Smith runs past to get to the ball. Vainicolo and Richie Barnett, they're looking at each other. But, gee, a lack of urgency there, and they've paid a heavy price.
Well, that was unbelievable. Those 3 Kiwis, like someone threw a hand grenade in the middle of them. They all just looked at it. Darren Smith didn't look at it. He picked it up and dived over.
Well, I'd only just uttered the words. He's been having a fairly quiet night through no fault of his own, and he's got 4 points on the board. It's been converted by Matt Rogers, and Australia lead by 6 after 4 minutes of the second half. Steve Roach.
Yeah, what an important time to score 4 minutes after the break. That'll give the Aussies plenty of confidence, but what a bounce. And it does show if you do chase the football hard enough, you do get luck out of it, and that ball bounced straight up into Smith's hand, and he gets the try.
Well, Willie Talau, their blocker, he did not make an effort to get back. He expected the ball to bounce towards Barnett or Vainicolo. Here's the short restart again. I know that they're all to blame on that occasion, I suppose, but gee, Willie Talau, no effort whatsoever there.
Now Webke. Putting a strong run behind the earlier effort from Brad Fittler, which brought a very strong tackle on him from Joe Vunganar. This is the third play now. It's with Lazarus who reaches the halfway mark. 12 points to 6. Australia grabbing an early lead in the second half after we had a half-time situation of 6 points all. Jason Smith. Now Andrew Johns electing to put them down the blind side, and Tallis goes back towards the centre, gets away from a fragile attempted tackle, takes on the fullback and is held from behind by Stacey Jones. 20-metre line, Andrew Johns spreading it left. Jason Smith, a bullet pass across for Langer. Not held, got the pass away. Daly then for Saylor. Saylor just inside the 10. The ball comes across Jason Smith for Alan Langer. Langer for Fittler. The ball to ground, and Cummings calls a halt. And I think it's the turnover it is. So New Zealand will play the ball back on their own 10-metre line.
Ah, she's razzle-dazzle stuff from the Aussies. Unfortunately, gee, that's the second time Brad Fittler's done that tonight. But they're starting to look good and playing with a lot of confidence, aren't they?
Yeah, the first time you're referring to, I think he should have scored, really. I sort of had a look at the pass from Andrew Johns, and it seemed to be okay as Vainikolo spins out of a couple. On the rack at the moment, New Zealand. They've been put back on their feet, or on their heels, I'm sorry, by that try. And they've got to regroup and get themselves back into this game.
Of these passes from New Zealand from dummy half to the runner have looked just a shade forward. They've been allowed to go. Henry Paul now 38 metres away from his own line. To the blind side for Jones. He's looking for a runner. Barnett's there to oblige. Gets the ball on the full. Good football by the Kiwis, but losing the ball in the final analysis to Darren Smith. That was smart. Rogers. Pulled down by Logan Swan. Well, this was Stacey Jones and Barnett at their best. They rehearsed it. They knew what they were doing. They communicated, unlike the three Kiwis at the other end of the park that allowed the Australian try. Webke. 5 metres from the halfway line. Of course, he's one of 5 Broncos that will be trekking north to take on North Queensland. So there's going to be some very tired players at the end of the weekend, particularly in Brisbane. Daly now. Johns from a standing start, and then running into Vunganar and the number 12 Nathan Kalis on the 40-metre line, New Zealand's end, and Langer puts a kick down low. Vainikolo back for it, fumbles it the first time. That would have been knocked backwards, and he bumps away from Darren Smith, tries to run away from Tallis, beats him, beats Kearns. And that's a very good effort by the young fellow from Canberra, who now loses the ball in a two-man tackle. It's been raked out in the penalty. You can't do much better than that, Volcano.
That's a great effort. Because you've got to understand, this bloke's been playing first division for Canberra. It's a massive step up in class to a test match for his country. A little bit of a fumble. He says, I'll make up for that. He gets through about 30 of them on this great run.
And at the end of it, Rendell Saylor disagrees with the decision, bangs the ball down and gets marked 10 metres and a talking to.
6-4 the penalties to the Kiwis as Hermanson on another visit to the park from the interchange bench. Lowry was good in the first half. The Henry and Robbie Pauls and Stacey Joneses, they can't perform without the heavy work being done by those forwards, particularly Lowry in that first half of play. I thought he probably outshone Vunganar. Now it's back for Nathan Kalis, and Kalis put down just inside the 20. Played back to Henry Paul to the right. He's gone for Stacey Jones, and then Jones cuts out the captain, picks up Wiki it is. And Rubin will play the ball just inside the Australian 10-metre line. A chance here for them to get back into it on the 5th tackle. The kick across the park is beautiful from Jones. Rogers under heavy artillery. They put the ball down. Logan Swan it is who claims a try, and the referee has gone for the video referee to have a look at it.
Yeah, I think that this will be okay. I don't think that the Australian players were interfered with. Matthew Rogers was particularly unhappy that the ball went to ground, but I think it was more frustration in his effort here than anything that the Kiwis came up with. They're all onside. There's absolutely no problem with that. Rogers gets under the football. They're all competing for it. goes through the arms of Rogers, and it's cleaned up by Logan Swan, and that is a try.
Yeah, she does look fairly fine to me. Darren Smith actually trying to shoulder Barnett out of the way, or Talau it was. No interference, and it should be a try, but what a great kicking game Stacey Jones does have in his repertoire. It's pinpoint. And they've really targeted Matt Rogers' side tonight. And there she goes.
Here's Dennis Fagarino, the video referee. He's got it right. Logan Swan played for Western Samoa in the World Nines in 1997 and playing his 11th Test match tonight. He comes from the Ellerslie Club in Auckland. 12 points to 10 with the kick at goal to come.
And normally you would see Matthew Ridge or Darryl Halligan attempting these. This time we've got Henry Paul. Our understanding is he's more of a part-time kicker than anything else, and this will not be an easy one. It's on the favoured side for the right-footed kicker. That will help a little bit. It's a tough one in a test to even the scoreline up.
20 out and 10 in from touch. He struck it beautifully, and it's just come across and hit the upright and then bounced across the face. So Australia 12, New Zealand 10. We've had 49 minutes of play gone.
On 60 Minutes, the Dirty Olympics.
A cataclysmic explosion in performance.
How drug cheats are set to ruin the Sydney Games.
Sydney may be the dirtiest on record.
Champions risking death for gold.
Could kill them in a half an hour.
Also, face to face with the most wanted man on earth.
I'm a hero in this country.
Richard Carlton with the chief of Serbia's death squads.
They call me a war criminal.
And a special Anzac tribute, the digger who's 101 not out.
Lucky in the war, lucky in love.
Toyota presents 60 Minutes, Sunday 7:30.
For big savings, get into Retrovision's nationwide big brand clearance and clean up on all the top names like Electrolux 1500 watt vacuum cleaner, just $369. You'll make big savings on all the big brands like Black & Decker's Aussie Grill Electric Barbecue, now $49.90, and TAC Home Theatre Pack priced to clear at $19.99. And fantastic value on big name washers like Simpson's Family Washer, now only $4.99. If you want really big savings, you know you'll find it in Retrovision. But hurry!
Dan, what on earth?
Just call me Sunraysia's Cranberry Crusader, Ma. I need a good batch of berries for a new drink I've created. Try this. You'll love it.
Not bad. What's it called?
Cranberry Crusher. Crushed ice in a glass bombarded with lots of Sunraysia cranberry juice, a splash of soda water, and a dash of Sunraysia Simply Lemon juice.
Sunraysia cranberries are available at caring supermarkets and health food shops near you.
Where's the cranny, Granny?
Wilbur Smith. After 26 novels and 80 million sold worldwide, comes the eagerly awaited follow-up to Birds of Prey, the #1 bestseller, Monsoon. Wilbur Smith, the legend continues.
Cricket's World Cup is not just about runs and wickets. It carries the hearts and hopes of nations. It's about courage and pride and strength of spirit. It's the future of an ancient game, and who has the right to claim its greatest prize?
Brian, do something about the kids, will you?
Hey, knock it off up there.
Yeah, get your tails down here before you break something.
Uh-oh.
Quick, Brian, what's the name of that glass mob?
The Urbo.
Oh, Brian.
Oh, Brian.
Stations that have been to a commercial break, and New Zealand being more than competitive. Tremendous effort. I pointed out at the top of the telecast they had 11 players, no fewer than 11 players that weren't considered either retired, suspended or injured. And they've been able to put 17 players out on the park, and they're right in this football match against the cream of rugby league, down by 2.
And Ray, we showed all of those players before the telecast, and one man whose name wasn't there who was overlooked was, of course, Tuera Nikau.
Well, of course, that goes back to a disagreement between Nikau and Blackmore. Something domestic, and Nikau refused to play alongside him. So New Zealand have taken the attitude now, it doesn't matter how grim the situation is, we won't pick Tuera Nikau. And he's arguably in amongst the top 3 or 4 footballers in New Zealand.
40-20 kick, yes.
Oh, yes, indeed. So they'll get the loose head and feed.
Oh, what a wonderful kick. Stacey Jones having an absolute blinder. Rogers looks on. He can't believe that went into touch. Just inside the 40 by a couple of metres. It's gone, what, about 45 on the fly. And they just couldn't get there. Wonderful opportunity now for the Kiwis. But a great kicking game, Stacey Jones.
And a very, very good rule, as we've pointed out in the past, that has been introduced into the game. It awards the kickers the skill of the kicker, and Stacey Jones, Paul pointed out, pinpoint there. Here's Paul going crossfield.
Turning it back into the centre for Barnett, who steps out of a tackle and is within 2 metres of the line. He beats Stephen Price, all ends up. Henry Paul waits. To the right, he runs, he circles, and is put down by Glenn Lazarus. Logan Swan, one of the try scorers, way to the right, and then it's Robbie Paul out into the centres area, just inside that eastern touchline with Sean Hoppy. Back now for Robbie Paul, and now Jason Lowry. Lowry is away from a 2-man tackle. Neither of them secured him. 5 metres from the line, in front of the uprights. Stacey Jones across the back for Logan Swan, then Kalis for Vainicolo. And a grassing tackle from Matt Rogers takes him into touch.
Yeah, some nice play there from the Kiwis. Took a shot down that short side. In the end, very strong defence. Well read. They had plenty of numbers there, the Kiwis. And some good hands from Kalis. And Matty Rogers stayed on his man and put him into touch.
A problem for one of the Australians, Stephen.
Yeah, it's a shoulder problem for Robbie Kearns, making a tackle on Terry Hermanson. The doctor's just having a look at him now.
Australia then coming away from their own 10-metre line with Rogers, who saved the day. This is the incident involving Robbie Kearns, where he did the shoulder. Straight away down went the left arm. 20-metre line for the Aussies. And Wendell Saylor grimacing as he beats one after another. 32 metres away from his own line. Good run by Saylor, who's injured now. Jason Smith across for his brother Darren. And Darren will play the ball 41 metres out from his own line. Fletcher, some more time in the game. 3-man Kiwi tackle as Saylor gets up, but he's not well. Langer on the halfway. Fit catch and pass, Lockie the same. Daly puts it to the right foot, and it's going back for Barnett, back near the dead ball line. The defence is there, but he'll get back easily. He does that. A good chase by Daly. An assist there from Steve Price.
Beautiful hands there from the Australian team, especially from Brad Fittler. The unfortunate thing was, as Ray pointed out, Wendell Saylor was down receiving attention. And if he'd have been on the outside of Daly, it might have been open spaces. Here's Vainicolo, who's been marvellous tonight for the Kiwis. Again, shrugs off a couple of tackles, picking up some tough metres.
Jason Smith and Brian Fletcher both beaten there by Vainicolo. It happened down the other end of the park too, with a couple of the Australian forwards. Now that ball has been taken. I would have thought it's a penalty, and that's the way he's gone. There was a player around the legs. One went up high, clutching at the football, Alan Langer. And the referee has given a penalty. There it is, 2 men on the tackle. Langer comes away with the football. He disputes the ruling. I think the referee got it right.
I don't think he disputed it. I think he gave himself up. I think he knew. No, sir, not me.
You'd expect that of a number 7, as the tap is to be taken on the New Zealand 40-metre line. 12-10 Australia. A converted try. It was just so simple, given the magnitude of the pressure in this match. It's been absolutely tremendous. And then a very simple try to Australia, but New Zealand have struck back. Vangana! Good work. 29 metres out from the line. Fletcher nearly gave a penalty. This is Henry Paul weaving and bobbing and ducking and then put down 7 metres from the line. His brother to dummy half. Stacey Jones, he comes into it now. Takes it to the line. The ball has been lost by Barnett. Just as the Kiwis were looking to threaten.
They should never have had to, or Stacey Jones should never have had to wait for the support players to arrive then. It had been set up beautifully as Wendell Saylor, who's been strong tonight, takes the ball away. And another opportunity escapes the Kiwis. Matt Rogers coming in to help out.
35 metres away from his own line. Chance there for the Kiwis. And now into space is Lockyer. Lockyer is down to the 30-metre line. Puts it on the inside off the boot of Fittler. Fittler loses it behind him. And the black and whites have got it. Hoppy gets the ball away. Paul is with it now. Outside the 40 and put down by Gordon Tallis. Hoppy. Rua. Angling away from the major sponsors sign. Wizard Home Loan sponsoring this Anzac weekend test. As it's put back on the inside now for Ruben Wiki. Near the halfway line. 14 into the game for New Zealand is David Kidwell from Parramatta. Very strong centre three-quarter. He's done some impressive things playing in the NRL competition. It's a great elevation for him as well into the national side as Stacey Jones puts a towering bomb into the air. They continue to test Darren Lockyer. And now he tries to circle them, but he's pulled down about 11 metres out from the Australian line. Matt Rogers had to rush in and then makes a rush out beyond the 20-metre line to play it back for Jason Smith. And then Nick Kosef. An offload for Matt Rogers again, stepping off his left foot. He'll be involved in the big game on Sunday that we'll televise between Cronulla, better known these days as the Sharks, that's what they want to be called, up against the Dragon. That's on Sunday at 4 o'clock for our New South Wales viewers. Fletcher, here goes the youngster on debut. A big run down the right of the ground. Fittler, he comes in to put the ball down and complete the work of the debutant. Great try, scored by Brad Fittler, but he'll be the first, and there he is, acknowledging the 24-year-old debutant Brian Fletcher.
Again, a very simple try. Brian Fletcher, he just strides through. Nobody's interested in tackling him here. Stacey Jones pointed to the inside. Tackle was missed, and the fullback did pretty well here to back off. Gave the chasers coming from behind a chance to pick up Fittler, but they couldn't do so from behind. And the pass from Langer, sorry, Paul, the inside man just doesn't have the speed to get across to get Fletcher.
Yeah, you've got to feel probably a little bit sorry for David Kidwell. It's a poor attempt, but he's only been on the field a matter of a couple of minutes. He just looks not warm enough, and he couldn't put it. He's been left well behind, and Brian Fletcher's had a very solid game. He set up Brad Fittler very well. Full marks to Stacey Jones. He just kept coming and coming. Couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, just about all the players there, apart from David Kidwell, didn't they? They play well. Just have a look. Fletcher goes through. Now, he doesn't lose his head. The fullback, Paul, backs off to give his chasers a chance. Stacey Jones is great getting there. Brad Fittler realises he's got to change direction to make sure that he can beat Jones to the line. They just all did their task very, very well. But for the Australians, it was Fittler taking the ball over the line after it was put on a plate by his Roosters teammate.
Rogers now. 21 metres out. 5 in from touch. A shaky start to the game, but he's done nothing wrong since that point in time, about 2 minutes into the game. There's his kick. It looks good. He struck it beautifully, and Matt Rogers converts. The try scored by his captain, Brad Fittler, and Australia leads New Zealand 18-10 after 59 minutes.
Sunday night at the movies.
An anonymous gift from a secret admirer.
He gave her flowers.
I cleaned out the city.
She gave him a chance.
One question. Why me?
Christian Slater.
You must be wondering who I am.
Mary Stuart Masterson.
Someone who's making Lisa as happy as I've ever seen her.
Naji Direct, the smart way to shop, just got smarter. Now open every Friday, Saturday and Sunday. More locations with more trading hours makes Naji Direct an even smarter way to shop. 180 Burnley Street, Richmond and 142 Bell Street, Preston.
Finally, a magazine that tells you all you want to know about football the Footy Show way. Every month, the Footy Show magazine takes you where the others fear to tread. All the stories behind the stories and features to keep you up to date with television's top-rating programme. This month, see all there is to see of the Wakelands. Billy Brownless tackles Molly Meldrum. Bucks, Croft and Gary rate the top 50 players, and Sam tells us all there is to know about women. Finally, a magazine with balls, the Footy Show magazine, out now at your newsagent.
It's the things that you do, little things, making your love shine through, little things that you say, making me glad that you feel this way when you smile. You make my heart go thump when you walk, or when I pick you up.
Give your baby a flying start with Pigeon quality baby products.
Remember when a performance made you feel like a star? Get brilliant performance, superb handling and a smoother ride in the stunning Corolla Liftback.
Here in Victoria, we have Australia's most highly skilled workforce. Skills create opportunities and open new markets.
I always knew I could do more. New skills got me here. In Victoria, we have access to the best universities and colleges.
Training creates advantages for everyone. New skills mean a better future. It's that simple.
Clive Peters Scratch and Dent Clearance Sale, Ringwood, Dandenong and Braybrook. The Bargain Hunters Bonanza for everything electrical, home entertainment and white goods. Incredible savings on new and superseded models, shop soil goods and even factory clearance items. Local and imported brands all backed by warranties. Save up to 30, 40, even 50% off recommended retail. Clive Peters Scratch and Dent Clearance Sale, Ringwood, Dandenong and Braybrook. Open 7 days. Builders welcome. Hurry. End soon.
18-10. As we see another of the shallow restarts. As far as New Zealand are concerned, they've done it 3 times now in the second half, and they've come up with the ball off it on one occasion, but it's working for them. When it doesn't work for you, though, of course, you've got these big forwards starting the progress up the ground off the 30-metre line rather than off the 10-metre line. So that's the downside of that tactic, as Tallis takes it to within 5 metres of the halfway. Price, Lockyer, Daly, Saylor coming in on the Kiwi 40-metre line. Jason Smith. Big kick by Smith. It's gone very high. It might go, I was going to say it might go out on the full, but it's bounced straight down the ground. And there's a lot of work there for Henry Paul. Well, Australia are going to get the football back. I don't think even Jason Smith in his wildest dreams thought they'd get the result they did.
He doesn't make many mistakes, Henry Paul, but you'd think this is probably one. He could have got to that ball on the full. I reckon it's only bounced a metre away. He was hoping it went into touch or dead in goal. It didn't. And now they've got a line dropout. And Smith gives himself a round of applause, and so he should.
What an Australian team, you know, when you look at them. Langer, Fittler, Jason Smith, Laurie Daly. Just all so beautiful with their hands. An absolute wealth of people that can put people through gaps and create awful havoc. You can't shut a team like that down, really.
What about Darren Smith? Like you've gone through those superstars, but out of all of those, Darren Smith probably, you know, he's close to the first player picked in the side this year. So it's an enormous rap for him, the way that he's come through in the rep scene. Here they come again.
Daly using a short ball to find Lockyer, then back it goes for McCracken. 18 metres away from his own line. So the gap hasn't been this big all night long, 18-10. Australia after 61 minutes of time, and it's Lowry offloading out the back for Sean Hoppy.
I wonder how many coaches and chief executive officers are looking at the Bradford files to see when the Paul brothers come off contract. If they are in the beaten side tonight, they will have still been close to the best on the field. They've been absolutely superb for the first hour of this game.
Surprisingly, they haven't played down here in club football. Stacey Jones puts a kick in that goes across inside the 30-metre line, Australia's end, and it's Matt Rogers. I would trust, or I would hope, for the benefit of the game in New Zealand, that if they do come off contract and they are looking to play out NRL, I would hope that they finish up with the Auckland club. They certainly need some help at the moment. Fletcher. Johns, and it's Webke now. Oh, he's lost it. It was a good tackle by Richard Swain. He went in rather awkwardly, but the effect brought the ball out of the grasp of Webke and put New Zealand back on the attack. Henry Paul now, right on the halfway line. There it was, lost by Webke, and the 17 trailing around the legs was Richard Swain from the Melbourne club. Henry Paul, away from dummy half. Easy gain in yards as Fittler makes the tackle. Stacey Jones. Kalis across now for Robbie Paul, and he gets the ball away for Willie Talau. He fends off one. Vainikolo's heading for the corner. Vainikolo's over. They get their second try in the second half. It's 18 points to 14, and the test match is very much alive.
Well, this has been one of the best test matches I've ever seen. It's just been fantastic. Every time Australia look to have an ascendancy, the Kiwis fight back. And this is a wonderful try by the Kiwis. Some good hands out wide. The Australian line was a bit staggered, and that gave that man there, Willie Talau, a chance to get through. And then you always thought that Vainikolo would have too much speed and power for the fullback in Darren Lockyer.
Yeah, the Kalis pass on to Paul. Paul got the ball to Talau, who got on the outside of Darren Smith, and that meant that Matt Rogers had to come in off his wing. In fact, he missed the tackle. Smith tried to make up, and then Vainikolo, well, he was never going to be stopped from here. Darren Lockyer, a very unenviable task, trying to take Vainikolo only a couple of metres out. We've seen a couple of great tries scored in this test match, a couple of soft ones as well. Good work here from Talau. He got outside his man, went through the tackle of Rogers, and really made it an easy task for the Canberra winger.
So Leslie Vainikolo scores a try. He turns 20 years of age next week. Henry Paul from the touchline and the 20-metre line, but he's hooked it away. So no addition to the New Zealand score. It is 18 points to 14 Australia after 65 minutes.
9:30 Monday on 9, a look into the world of UFOs.
No known conventional aircraft can fly at such speeds.
Fact or fiction?
Something had to build them, so there must be aliens.
We present the eyewitness evidence.
An Australian couple photographed this silver disc in flight.
You be the judge.
Yeah, how could they keep something like this secret? It's a crime against science. It's a crime against the people.
A mystery that has intrigued man for thousands of years. UFOs above and beyond. 9:30 Monday on 9.
This is a notice to the public. Panasales Clearance Centre has just taken delivery of hundreds of units of liquidated stock which are available to the public right now at drastically reduced prices. Unmatchable deals on an extensive range of electrical appliances. Most products are brand new and all equipment is quality checked and guaranteed. With up to half-price discounts and even more, you can't miss this amazing opportunity. Stock will move fast, so be quick. This offer ends Saturday 5 p.m. Panasales Superstore, 239 Nepean Highway, Corner North Road, Brighton.
Let's get together. Let's get together. Let's get together. Let's walk.
The 12-day Grand Tour of Ireland. More sightseeing, centrally located accommodation, all exclusive to Travelland from just $19.99. Ask about our great airfares to join your tour. Call Travelland now.
And don't forget your flybys.
just don't see good service like that anymore.
No, you don't.
Do you know that New Oak Ford won the 1998 Victorian Fair Trader Award?
For the car industry?
No, across all industries.
Well, if that's the case, why wouldn't you want to buy a new or used car from them?
Are they really that good?
Well, isn't that why we're here?
Hello, Richard.
Ben, how are you?
Hello, man.
New Oak Ford, proud winner of the 1998 Victorian Fair Trader Award. And it feels good.
The fabulous Camberwell Rotary Art Show is on again. It's the largest indoor art show in Australia and one of the largest exhibitions of traditional paintings in the world. We've got the very best works of hundreds of leading and emerging Australian artists. Our paintings are for sale and at special show prices. It's on from Saturday the 24th to Friday the 30th of April at the Camberwell Centre, next door to the Old Town Hall. The Camberwell Rotary Art Show. Don't miss it.
One broken-hearted child among 500,000 refugees. Her parents are missing and she's scared. World Vision is there, but we need your support. Call World Vision now on 13 32 40.
An all-new Pretender, 8:30 tonight on 9.
And the Kiwis go straight to the try scorer to bring it out, and it's a heavy body contact between Vainikolo and Kosev. Kosev coming off second best as the ball is played on the 20-metre line. Terry Hermanson almost at the 30 for Swain. He gets a decoy run from Henry Paul before giving it off to Rua, who also plays for the Melbourne club along with Swain, and now they come back on the short side, and this is Nathan Keyes. Made his first national side last year for New Zealand. Cross they go now for Robbie Paul out wide, and this is David Kidwell put down on the halfway line. Robbie Paul stays at acting half, then puts a kick in from that position down that corridor on the right of the ground, and Darren Lockyer bringing it away outside the 10. Kidwell's after him, gets it back for Saylor. Saylor tries to run through the middle of the defenders and gets it 25 metres out from his own line. Kearns, who's back from that shoulder problem. Lazarus rumbling down the ground, 38 metres away from the Aussie line. Kosev's turn. This is Price from Canterbury. Then Johns across for Kearns. Halfway line. 18 points to 14 the scoreline. Australia with just the goal kicking the difference. Fletcher on the end of a shoulder from Talau. Johns at acting half to the blind side for Langer's kick back into the middle, in between Henry Paul and Sean Hoppy. Hoppy dummies to him and then tries to do it himself, but there's a ring of Australian defence around him. Kidwell, a run down the blind side where he was confronted by 4 Australians, so it was a lack of personnel over there for New Zealand on that side of the ground. Hoppy to the 30 now. Swain. 68 minutes gone. And still in the balance this test match as Robbie Paul makes a break. The support comes. Ruben Wiki is there. Nathan Kalis supports. Kalis now to the 20. He got a kick in as he was tackled by Saylor, and falling back there is Darren Smith. He probably can't get it back. There's too many of them there as he eyeballs them and dances away from them, and eventually dances over the dead ball line. So good kick, good chase by New Zealand.
Well, there's nothing these Paul boys can't do. They're just about the 2 best players in the world at the moment. We don't get to see them very much at all, but what they've shown tonight has just been terrific football. And Kalis, good tactic from him. He was hoping for probably a better kick towards the corner to give his winger a chance to get there. In the end, though, just about the perfect result. A bit of dancing, doing the stadium waltz.
Sheepdogs just corralled him.
So the line dropout down for Stacey Jones. They come back with the football on the first play with Jason Lowry. 25 metres away from the line. The second player's with us now. Rua. He'll be made to play the ball 15 metres out. Right in the centre of the ground. He cuts out Robbie Paul for Hermanson to go to Wiki. And Ruben Wiki will stand in the tackle and play it. Third tackle. Henry Paul for Robbie. Drifting across and then decides to pirouette and try and beat them. Taken down by Fletcher. Henry Paul gets a ball away. Rua's come up with it, but the referee has seen a knock on.
Well, the Paul brothers trying to combine there. I nearly heard the call, Henry, from up here in the stands. Just couldn't get the ball. The referee could, well, he must have had thoughts about letting that one go. Matt Rule picked it up. But the Australians under siege there.
All I've got to do is blow a penalty.
Lockyer. Heavy defence. They'll be looking for him to cough the ball up. They've still got memories of this corresponding test match last year in regard to Darren Lockyer, which is quite unfair, really, because he's an outstanding player. Their memories are of him on a very, what's the word I'm looking for, on a unique occasion for him. Now Langer across for Lockyer into his back line, and then a cutting run through the centres to be pulled down by Ruben Wiki. Langer driving the Australian attack down the ground, not giving New Zealand another cent of it if he can prevent it. Percentage football, it's called. Now Barnett. Steve Roach sideline.
Well, Australia haven't been able to set the platform from dummy half. We haven't made one break from dummy half, probably because Johns generally plays halfback, but the New Zealanders have made plenty of breaks from that position to set their platform.
Sean Hoppy. Willie Talau. Now it's a penalty to New Zealand. The markers, I think you'll find he's penalised for not standing directly in front of one another or in front of the play the ball. Let's watch them.
That's going to be the big advantage for teams here. You can see Fletcher to the side there. Teams that can get consecutive sixes. The Kiwis have got that now with Hermanson going inside 30. They've still got 5 tackles up their sleeve. Bungana winds up.
The big front rower to the 20. Paul away for Stacey Jones. Back in for Robbie Paul. He comes back. He's able to get the pass away. Now it's Willie Talau. Leslie Vainacolo knocks on, so another scrum back on the Australian 10-metre line. How many of these have we had?
Just wondering who knocked it down first. I thought the Australians knocked it on first.
Well, Rogers is complaining to the touch judge, so it may well be a New Zealand feed, Paul.
Once again, that looks like a pass off the ground for mine, but an inside ball here from Talaus. It's knocked down by Rogers, no doubt about it. Really, the referee called it. And here they come, the Kiwis.
So they go to the right of the ground immediately with 2 passes for Barnett. 15 away from the line. Kidwell from dummy half. Andrew Johns, the chief tackler. Henry Paul. Stacey Jones. Terry Hermanson. Jones again. Now it's Ruben Wiki. 12 metres from the line. Henry Paul from dummy half. Finding his brother. Robbie puts it down for Stacey Jones. Pushes it across for Logan Swan. Now a handoff, and it's with David Kidwell. Back for Stacey Jones. And Jones flicks it out the back. Picks up Logan Swan again. They're keeping it alive. Away from Henry Paul for Terry Hermanson. A long ball for Leslie Vainacolo. Vainacolo heads for the corner. Talau. Hermanson. In the wrong place.
Jones, cross kick.
Now from Henry Paul for Stacey Jones to go high and across. Up goes Daly. They came down with it and lost it. Sean Hoppy had it. And he also had almost definitely a 6-pointer in his hands. Saylor. 74th minute. And Daly went up, contested it with Hoppy, and Hoppy came down with it and lost it. Probably, as I see it on replay, was covered by Fittler anyway. So it wasn't the opportunity that I first thought it was. Darren Smith, Gordon Tallis. This crowd bigger than I imagine. Special figures coming through as Daly steps and beats Wiki. And then goes through two other tacklers. He's down to the New Zealand 30. They come across and swamp him in defence. Langer. Now Jason Smith. The try line is 10 metres away. Matt Singer's on again, but New Zealand have got the ball.
And they were in trouble, New Zealand. Richie Barnett was hurt in that tackle on Laurie Daly. Got the referee stopping the game here. The touchies come in from the far side to give a report.
Okay, Jared. Where's he? Where's the penalty over there?
So it's an Australian penalty.
Where is it? Jared. Hey, fellas, go away. Just move back. Right, listen to the report.
The ball gone. He's taking the player out late and high.
Okay, it's against you, mate. It's over here. Here we go.
And the New Zealand captain.
There's a penalty here.
They've given away 2 points here. You would imagine that the Australians would take the 2 to extend it to a converted try in front. Well, you never quite know. Here's Langer. No, he puts it down.
I'll tell you what, Peter and Paul, this referee has been conspicuous by his absence, which is the way we like it.
He's been terrific, actually. Hasn't had much to do or say. He's just rolled along nicely. A couple of probably slight errors he made. Maybe in the first half. Great run from Laurie Daly, playing outside Langer. Beat a couple, looking for support, got hammered in a tackle. Richie Barnett reeled out of that one. Now we're looking for Jared McCracken holding someone out of it. Here he comes over now. Oh, I was late on the kicker.
Yeah. The only decision I haven't understood from Stuart Cummings is Jason Smith is the man who gets cleaned up by his Parramatta teammate. Was Vunganar being penalised for rolling the ball between his legs. I thought that was standard practice in England. I just figured you'd get away with it.
Yeah. I have seen 6 others tonight like that.
So it is a 2-pointer for Matt Rogers at the 75th minute. Still a ball game, 20 points to 14. Crowd of 30,245. 30,245 here at Stadium Australia at Homebush Bay. In the Olympic city of the year 2000, the Harbour City, hosting the Anzac Day weekend test. Sponsored by Wizard Home Loans, who, as I pointed out, were quick to come on board for the test match. And now it's Willie Talau. 6 points the margin, still a chance for the black and white side. Robbie Paul. How good have they been? The Paul brothers and Stacey Jones, but particularly the former. Now, Henry Paul. Pulled down 25 metres away from the Aussie line. An appeal from Vunganar. Through for Jones, then for Rua. 19 off the Australian line. Midway through the tackle count. Jones, Vunganar, the runner-up. The pass on. It's with Henry Paul. Taps. Has to pull him down desperately. And he's got a problem, Henry Paul. Laurie Daly immediately indicating to the referee that we have a problem.
Yeah, it appears to be up around the shoulder or neck area. Of concern straight away from Gordon Tallis and especially Laurie Daly. Did seem to fall awkwardly in that tackle.
He's had some pins and needles there for sure. I saw them getting him to see if he could use his fingers. Landed very badly. Well, you don't like to see this happen to anybody in football. Certainly not to a player who's had the game that Henry Paul has had.
He's been the best player in the field, right? You have a look at the individual performances of each person out there. Henry Paul has been a 9 out of 10, which is in front of anyone.
They'll call for the medicab. And I suspect we're in for quite a delay. It doesn't matter how long the delay is, though, as long as the report is a good one for Henry Paul at the end of it. There's nothing malicious. There was nothing foul in what has happened. The moment he hit the ground, he knew he had a problem, and so did Gordon Tallis, and more particularly Laurie Daly. He's got movement in his hands and his arms, which is a good sign.
Yeah, obviously they're just taking great care. It's an area that you don't muck around with. And the performance tonight from New Zealand, this is a great indication of the future. Changing the guard to some degree, and all the young players have played well.
Henry Paul then. That's the tackle, and that's where we came to a shuddering halt.
Well, still plenty of concern here over Henry Paul. It does appear as though there is plenty of movement there, and gingerly taking from the ground. And this is a very unfortunate, well, almost end of the Test match, despite the fact we've got a couple of minutes to go and the game is still in the balance. And a very good round of applause for Henry Paul, who is sitting up now, and that's a great sign. Kiwi still with an opportunity in these last couple of minutes to snatch a draw, convert a try. That would not, on their performance tonight, be a particularly bad result. Australians have done well. They didn't have much possession in the first half. Henry Paul will leave the field, but fortunately walks to the Medicab to do so.
It was a very congratulatory Laurie Daly, but I think also a very relieved Laurie Daly that you saw applauding not only the performance of Henry Paul, but applauding the fact that he was back on his feet with obviously the use of legs and arms. So a replacement ball player for New Zealand, and they're right on the attack. Australia's had a chance to set their line. Here's Barnett. Oh, and Rua puts it down. It'll be another scrum back on the Australian 10-metre line. 20 points to 14. There's just over 3 minutes of the Test match to go.
Yeah, they've tried very hard tonight. They've played really well, the Kiwis. Australians have defended so well, though. And just a mistimed pass there. Wasn't held by Rua.
Matt Rogers bumping away from a shoulder charge that went wrong. Australia then out to their own 30 with Brad Fittler. McDonald, we thank them for the $1,000 man of the match. They're involved in this Test match through their sponsorship as Australia takes it towards halfway. Play by Matt Singh. Jason Smith inside ball for Price. Back for Smith. Cuts out Fittler across for Daly. 40-metre line, the Kiwis in. Fittler. Length. Long ball. Lockyer in beautifully from the back. Tallis is out there wide. Tallis unloads. Sailors there now. Darren Smith on the western touchline. Works away from it. 5 gone for the Aussies. Andrew John finding Langer. Kicks on the 20-metre line. The chase is on. Robbie Paul gets there first. It'll be a line dropout.
And that kick will get the Australians home. Beautifully positioned. Matt Singh chasing through, comes up with the tackle. Alan Langer. They needed to get another set of 6 here just to finish the game off. And the Australians, they'll take the Bill Kelly Memorial Trophy from this match. It was won by New Zealand last year in the Anzac Test match. It appears as though it's coming Australia's way. The short dropout finds Darren Smith.
The scoring might not be over yet. Johns for Kearns, and Robbie will play the ball 10 metres away on the second play. Tallis gave a decoy down the blind. Jason Smith works on the open. And the Parramatta back rower, or 5/8, slow to rise. He's clutching at the ribcage. Langer across the ground. Fittler gets the ball away. Matt Rogers is there, tried to shovel a pass off, but Jared McCracken had him all tied up. From Price for Langer, then for Johns. Johns gets it on. Tallis out wide again. Darren Smith for the corner, and I think the corner post went. He wants the video referee's help. The touch judge stayed back in the field of play, which indicated to me that he was of the opinion the corner post had gone.
He's gone very close here, Darren Smith, but I think this will show that he's gone into touch before getting the football down.
Well, he loses the ball short of the line.
He comes up short. He's had another very strong game tonight, Darren Smith. He's a player of class. And some good performance for the Australians. Lang has been solid at halfback. Jason Smith, when he's been on there, has played very well. Andrew Johns did well around the dummy half area. But really, I think there's the no-try signal. One of Australia's best players tonight has been Wendell Saylor. He's been heavily involved. He's roved around the field, and he's played terrific. Something like 15 or 16 hit-ups for him.
Paul, I think the four wingers tonight have been absolutely superb. That's been actually nearly the pick of the battles out there. Yeah, there you can see, no doubt about that being a no-try in New Zealand. They try and come up with a miracle. The kick behind Wendell Saylor, got plenty of time to clean it up, and does so.
So the final seconds of the test match with Wendell Saylor in the spotlight. And there it is, the final hooter. Australia has defeated New Zealand 20 points to 14 in front of a crowd of 30,245. It was 3 tries apiece. Saylor, Darren Smith and Fittler for Australia. And for New Zealand, Robbie Paul, Logan Swan and Leslie Vainikolo. Goal kicking, very much the difference. 4 from 4 for Rogers and 1 from 3 for Henry Paul. Well, the